Hello. The last time you saw me, I was working on my grandmother's flower garden, and now I've decided I want to mix it up just a little bit. And I was in my basement and I was looking for templates for a project that I had bought a Lori Holt it's called Grandmother's Garden quilt. And I bought the kit at the Houston Quilt Festival the first time I went back in 2017, 2018, one of them 2 years. And I'm trying to find the templates, but I found some stuff, but I'm trying to find the rest. So, but in doing so, I happened to look over and I'm like, oh my goodness, I remember this quilt. And I had started it. And it's a block of the month. It has 11 parts. Part 1 is finished. And this is what it looks like. Absolutely gorgeous. Batiks from Hoffman. And I had bought these back probably at least a decade ago when I was married. So it's been a minute ago. But I did get the first block done. And I loved it. And then I stopped. I remember just going and getting the fabric packages, but I never finished. So I thought this would also be an opportunity to do this. What it is Lori Schifrin Designs, and it's called Ripples and Reflections. I remember seeing this on the wall of Quilt Shop and being like, oh my God, there's just no way I could do that. They're like, yeah, it's broke down to monthly parts, no big deal. Take a year, get it done. Well, as life goes, here we are. Many years later, and we're going to work on it now. So, I did kind of look through everything, and it gives a color key, and it lists the fabrics, 1 through 15. So then when you, like, this is the leftovers from the first block. And I remember her saying, hang on to those. Because you might need them later, unless, if something goes awry and you need a little something, just keep those for later. So I obviously got through the first one, so now I will head on through and do the others. I'm very excited, I have to say, because it is literally this page. It's pretty cool though. It gives you cutting instructions on one side of the paper, and it gives you assembly directions on the other side of the paper. So, and it tells you like by what fabric to cut, how much to cut from each number of fabric. And she had these all kitted up by the month. So we have the fabric for each month, and we will go from there. I'll have to get it out, and I'll have to get my ruler, my rotary cutter, and my mat, and I will have to do some creative measuring. So hopefully we can work on that tonight. Here's a tip that I like to do when you're going to work on something and put it down and pick it back up. I like to use like post-it notes, and I just pinned it to this. Have month number 1 written on it, and then that way, at the end of this thing, when it's laid out with the grid and the picture that I'm assuming is at the end, I kind of looked at a little bit. If these are all laid out correctly, it should go right together. So therefore, I am so sorry. Therefore, these come in so handy. I use them if I make multiples of a unit, then I can put the number on them and I can hook it to whatever I'm doing, and then I know how many and I can count them, write a number, I know what's there, the size of the piece that I cut, the size of the unit that I have, whatever it is. That way I can organize everything according to size. I know if I have enough. I know where I'm at. If it's a project that you have to have so many of something and you just can't possibly do it all at once, it keeps you on track for the next time when you come back to it. Little tip that I like to try. So tonight what I did was I spent time getting out the fabrics for the second month of it, of the quilt, and I cut these 4 squares, 3 by 3, these rectangles that are 1 3/4 by 3. I took and cut 8 squares, and then I cut them all in half and to make triangles, to make 16 triangles, and this was a 3 3/8 by 3 3/8 inch square. And then there's 3 strips that are 1 3/4 by the width of the fabric. I have this to cut, and the directions look very involved, so I'm a little concerned about the directions. At least there's a picture and a drawing with the directions. I'm very hopeful. So I will cut that out, and there's one other fabric I have to cut that goes with this. So hopefully the next video will have me putting it all together. I will see you soon.